This is the Georgia Dawgs Podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.
It did. Wilcox with an up and out. Wide open. Touchdown. Israel Troupe.
Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Near sideline. Breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Georgia.
Good evening, neighborhood. How about them dogs?
32, 18. Let the celebration begin.
And I feel like it's been a while, but we are the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs Podcast on the Bleav Network, coming at you on Brinks.tv as well. Joining me as always in a reinvigorated or a renewal in the hat game, it's my man Israel Troupe. Troupe, what's up, man?
What up, brother? Good to be back. It's been a long, long time.
I know you've been in spring practice mode.
Yeah, trying to get a little break, but you know, this whole moving process is not as much fun as people make it look.
Yeah, moving is for the birds. So I'm gonna stay put as long as humanly possible, unless somebody comes through and offers me a 6-digit number that starts with at least a 7. We're going to stay firmly planted here if we can. So, but yeah, it's going to, we got a pretty fun show. Actually, there's some drama. There's a drama show in the SEC.
Absolutely.
We'll give you a little baseball update. We'll check in on our NFL Dawgs, and we're going to have a good show, man. We're presented by Betonline.ag. That's the one thing I want to tell you. We're presented by Betonline.ag. Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest odds, news, sports developments for the NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball, fights, and NFL futures. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and the fan favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's really easy to get started. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today. Use your promo code Bleav to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. After my little revelation on Monday, now I feel like I need to call you Troupe. So I guess that's so what. So yesterday I got invited to come on to a podcast, the Behind the Curtain podcast. Is the SB Nation Pittsburgh Steelers podcast, where we talked about, they wanted to ask me all the questions about George Pickens. Mm-hmm. So that was a lot of fun. So check me out on that episode. You can find that on Apple and Spotify and wherever you want to find your Steelers podcast. So I got invited, Israel. This is fun. I got invited to a Pittsburgh Steelers podcast in Great Britain, in the UK.
Man, you're big time. You talk about me, man. You're making waves across the country.
Yeah, I'm going across the pond, man. So yeah, I'm gonna. I gotta nail down a time, but yeah, I guess I had so much fun on the other one. I guess I'm gonna make my Steeler podcast rounds, I guess. So
hey, man,
I need to get on.
Whatever you do,
I need to get on with Ike Taylor. I know. I need to get on with Ike and the crew on the Bleav Network. So that'd be fun. So it seems like everybody wants to talk about George Pickens. They're excited up there in Pittsburgh about him. So I am too. So let's start there. It was a loaded wide receiver class. It was a loaded class for linemen, linebackers, defensive backs, edge rushers, things like that. So I feel like with those two factors, you knew there was going to be some really good receivers going into the second round, George Pickens being one of them. To me, I felt like the Steelers, when he landed to them, when he fell to them, they couldn't get to the podium fast enough. And to me, he might be one of the better ones in the class, because not only is he super talented, but he's got toughness, and he's proved that he is a team guy, because not one of these receivers would have came came back and played in those playoff games under the circumstances that he did and been okay with it. And he embraced it. He embraced his teammates. He got more excited about their success than he did about his own. You know, when A.D. Mitchell caught that touchdown, he was the biggest cheerleader. So, were those contributing factors? Was that a lot of the reason why he fell in the draft? What was the character stuff? Were their teams scared of that? What do you think?
I think he fell just because he had a lot of talent before him that didn't get hurt. I think his injury scared a couple of teams from taking him in the first round. You know, although, you know, we have the best team doctors in the world at the University of Georgia.
Oh,
you know, for an NFL team to, you know, take a guy with a torn ACL was kind of a red flag for them. But for the Steelers to sit there and be like, you know what, I'm getting him. You know, if nobody takes him, you know, it just says a lot about them. You're getting a receiver, big body, great body control, great hands. I think he maybe dropped one ball his whole career, if I'm not mistaken. His length to dive and go get balls. And I think the one thing that they missed, you know, since Antonio Brown left is that physicality. You know, at the wide receiver position, we all know Juju's not the guy that's going to go block.
Well, he's definitely not the guy now because he's in Kansas City. But yeah,
absolutely not. So, you know, they were looking for that tough physical guy, but now they got a bigger guy, you know, that's going to be more physical, that's coming into a system that loves the receiver position. They throw the ball around. Now they finally have a big receiver out wide that can go get the ball. You know, they really haven't had like a big, tall, you know, 6'4", 6'5" guy. And, you know, now you got 6'4" George Pickens on the outside now. That creates mismatches. And you know what you're going to get with them every day.
You do. And you know, when I went on with the Steelers guys, they talked about, you know, his love for blocking downfield, and they drew a lot of comparisons to another dog, Hines Ward. Do you see any similarities there? Not only just with the love of blocking, but just in the overall game?
Oh yeah. Just the physical part of the game. You know, most people think the receiver position is just finesse, but we all know in the NFL they're going to run the football. And, you know, if you can't block, no rock, you know, so
definitely.
The more Hines Ward, you know, got into his career, the more you realize he was blocking downfield. And the more you realize he was getting the ball more too, you know, during that time span. So I think they love that aspect about him. And I think he's going to have a great career. He bounced back. He was the ultimate team player, being a decoy, and his physicality never left. I was just watching a clip of the Michigan game when he pushed the DB down. So
he shifted him first.
So, you know, he's not gonna you know, be a head case. He was never a head case at Georgia.
No.
You know, and the fact that he, like you said earlier, he came back and was the most unselfish player on the team at the time, you know, just shows him and his character.
That's the biggest misconception to me, because like people look at the fight he had against the Georgia Tech player when his freshman season, that got him suspended for the SEC championship. They see the water bottle incident where he squirted Garantano, which, I mean, those were really his only two incidents. Yeah, I mean, sure, he probably had a few, you know, frustrated moments at practice where he probably got a little mouthy, but realistically, those aren't big deals. Like the water bottle thing wasn't a huge deal. It didn't hurt anybody. I mean, yeah, I don't love that he got a 15-yard penalty for it, but you know, I think it was just a little bit of gamesmanship, and he was just being a prankster almost. But you know, he's always done what's best interest of the team, and that's never been an issue with him. So I don't know where all of this comes from. I think people just see that and they just gravitate. Oh, he's a head case. Oh, he can't control himself. Oh, he's immature, which a lot of kids have immaturity, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had to grow up, and he did.
And he grew up fast. And, you know, if he was really a head case and all the things that people try to say about him, I think Kirby Smart would have gotten rid of him.
Yeah, he would have been gone.
Is one thing. No matter who who you are, your pedigree as a player, anything like that. Like Kirby Smart is big on discipline. So if he was that big of a discipline problem, he's not going to deal with it. So people can say what they want. If you look at the Georgia Tech incident, they've been going back and forth the whole entire game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we wish it didn't happen, of course, because we missed him for the SEC championship game. But at the same time, I mean, that just shows you the kind of player he is, the passion that he plays with. He's not going to let anybody punk him. He's going to go out there and compete, and that's what it showed me. He was competing. You know, he was competing in that fight, and he won. I mean, how many receivers are slamming people up against the wall in their own stadium?
Not many.
You know,
not many.
So,
I mean, it's football. Like, if you're going at it, I mean, it's inevitable. Like, fights happen. Fights happen at training camp. Is it a big deal? Like, all these linemen that go at it, are they immature? Are they head cases? No, they're not.
And I mean, of course, receivers and DBs are the most prima donna and head case players on the whole entire football field.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, look at the caliber of player you're getting to come back, like I said, to bounce back from the ACL the way he did, to come back and compete, you know, and help out his team, made a big catch in the national championship game. I mean, you can't knock the kid's love for the game of football. And I think that's what Pittsburgh saw. And you have to think, too, he has some really good receivers in front of him. And the only difference is they all stay healthy and they never got hurt. So if you go in the second round, I mean, hey, that's a win-win all around.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're getting a great player in George Pickens. He's going to fight his ass off for the team. And it's going to be what it is. I mean, he's going to inject that into Chase Claypool. He knows what it's like to be a great organization. He knows what it's like to have maturity and get the business done. Sure, he has a quirky personality, he has a quirky sense of humor. Like he's kind of an odd guy. But that's not a bad thing. It's just who he is. And you know, Kirby
never got in any trouble.
No, he never got in any trouble.
Never heard any bad things that you ever heard about him from inside the football world. So I mean, you know, if you're gonna crucify a kid for 2 incidents, I mean, what does that say about you and your character? Yeah, I mean, everybody can sit and just watch film all day and analyze people, you know. But are you there? Are you at practice and things like that? You know, like we talked about on Monday. You know, these guys sit behind a computer screen, just watch film all day, and they analyze people. But you've never played this game and know the emotion that goes into this game. So,
yeah, they have no idea.
Make your little money and just be quiet.
Exactly. So that leads me to another, I guess I don't want to call it a controversial situation, but a situation that I definitely didn't quite understand, and there's probably a lot of factors at play, and I bet the main reason is the medical evaluations. And I'm talking about Nakobe Dean, a first-round talent falling to the third round. Philly said enough's enough. They traded up, snagged him in the third round, paired him with Jordan Davis over there to go with the already existing Fletcher Cox, the already existing Brandon Graham. We talked about it a little bit on Monday, but what contributed to Nakobe Dean getting or dropping? And, you know, I think this is a great move for Philly.
Absolutely. I mean, you got Fletcher Cox, number one, who can take the whole offensive line with him any day of the week. You just added Jordan Davis in the first round. The talent on that defense is absolutely phenomenal, especially that defensive front. So for Nakobe Dean to drop the way he did, like I said, I'm assuming it was because of the injury, the pec. I think it was a pec or something like that.
Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah.
You know, so okay, that's fine. But the reports I was reading were talking about him being an undersized linebacker. All right, whatever. But you got to think about something like this. This kid's smart. You know, go back to the Kentucky game. He got beat on one play for a touchdown. They try to run the play again. He runs it down from the backside. You know, he's a student of the game. He studies film. I mean, he's just a smart linebacker. And who wouldn't want that on their team?
No, I mean, cut on the Orange Bowl. And you know what play I'm about to say. You already know. Empty
Very
formation.
Similar to the Kentucky game.
Yeah. Guy goes in motion across the formation. They know it's man. I'm thinking Jim Harbaugh's like, dude, we got this beat. What does he do? He tackles it for a 1 yard gain. or 1 yard loss, something, no gain, so somewhere in that range. That should never happen. That probably 99% of the linebackers in the country probably don't make that play. Who makes it? Nakobe Dean. Kentucky game. They throw a screen out there. He beats 3 offensive linemen. They don't touch him. All they have to do is get in his way, and they score a touchdown. He beats them all, stones it for about a 4-yard gain, I think, is what it ended up netting. The play in the national championship, the one that Tindall. Yeah, Channing Tindall. This is leadership. Channing Tindall disrupts the play. They luckily are able to knock the pass down, and he gets in his ass about it. What does Channing Tindall do?
Very next play, makes
sack -10, gets him out of a decision to go for it. Like they were going to go for it. It was 4 down territory where Alabama was. They sack him. Now they have to kick the field goal. What does Nakobe Dean do? He's the first one over there to congratulate Channing Tindall. Like,
absolutely.
You look at just those plays right there. Like, how do you not? What other linebacker in this draft class is doing that type of stuff?
Not one that I saw.
Like the guy from Montana State that the Falcons drafted. Like, is he doing that stuff? I mean, he's athletic, but is he making those plays?
Probably how I feel about the Falcons. They hate kids from Georgia for some reason. I don't know why, but they do.
I get it. I know it's a business. I know you got to pick best on the board, but come on, man. Like,
he was the best on the board. He's the Butkus winner. I mean, he's the best linebacker in the nation.
Yeah, and he was number 1 on the boards, probably everybody's boards. So they got scared away from a little pectoral thing that can be fixed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure up until the draft that no one cared about until it got leaked into the media.
Yeah, like it's a muscle tear. Like those things heal.
Yeah,
they heal fine. Like they got scared because he's 5'11".
Yeah, I mean he's 5'11".
Not 6'2".
Roquan's 6'1", I think, something like that.
Yeah, Roquan's pretty good. Nobody's
really
worried
good.
about Roquan. Roquan's not huge. Roquan got a little bit bigger.
The athletic ability for my linebacking core this year was crazy. You got 2 going in the first round. So, I mean, for him to fall the way he did, the only thing I can attribute that is to the injury. But you can't knock his play, his heart, and his love for the game as well. So,
right.
I mean, I hate that he did fall, but I think he ended up in a good situation because, like they said, he plays behind linemen. Linemen take up blocks. That's what he does. He makes tackles. That's his job. That's what he does.
And he's got 2 of the best in the league now with Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox. So I'm excited for him. And in a league that's more spread out, you need more Nakobe Deans. You don't need big space eaters. You don't need your the prototypical old school Mike linebacker doesn't exist anymore. You can't. You got teams like Buffalo who are constantly empty and slinging the ball over the yard. You got players that need to play well in space and linebackers that turn into conflict players that now need to be able to make up ground. Nakobe Dean can be a conflict player, get red, make up the ground, and make the play anyway. Like that's what he does.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody even counts the mic anymore as far as the count and who to block. I think it's all based on pre-snap, who's up, who's down. So, there's no more sliding to the mic or anything like that anymore from what I've seen. So, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't know what they're scared of. If you're scared of an injury, I mean, I get it. But at the same time, you're going to get a player who's going to rehab his butt off. A lot of those guys they come back to Athens and see Ron. So, of course, they're going to be in 100% by the time they leave.
Muscle tear, man.
So, but he's going to do well, and he's going to get that check at the end. So, teams are going to regret passing up on him. I'll tell you that.
At Coach Burton 36 on Twitter. Let me know if I'm wrong about muscle tears. Are they catastrophic? Let me know if I'm wrong on that. I feel like I'm not, but let me know. But a few other guys, Trayvon Walker, we knew what was going to happen there. We knew why he was getting picked. The play that really personifies the choice between Aiden Hutchinson and Trayvon Walker for the Jaguars was that play that happened in the Jaguars' backyard against Florida, where he drops into coverage, makes a almost diving interception. Didn't quite dive, but he lunged into almost a dive, and essentially took it to the house. I think he got ruled down on a technicality, but he essentially took it to the house. Like stuff like that. The sack that he made to close it out in the Auburn game. I think it was the 2020 Auburn game. Just big plays all around, man. It's no surprise there. The one that really kind of surprised me, honestly, because I thought Nakobe Dean would go before him, was Quay Walker. All the athletic ability, not quite the mental game that Nakobe Dean has, but very impressive player. Thought he was fairly raw still, which is why I was kind of surprised he went first round. I thought he was going to be a day 2 guy. I thought he was going to go where Nakobe went, and Nakobe was going to go where he went. I thought those two were going to be flipped. But what is it about Quay Walker? Is it an athletic ability thing? Is it hey, we're pro coaches and we're going to get our hands on him and we're going to turn him into a monster?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think he gives you that ability to play in space a little bit better than Nakobe Dean does right now. Because in that league over there, you got to think, you got the Seahawks. I mean, you got teams over there that are wide open spread. So, he's more athletic. He can play a little bit more space, and he can play in the box. So I think that's why they took him in the first round. You got Stokes over there as well, so they know each other. So I think his upside right now and his potential is a little bit better for what Green Bay needed at the time than what Nakobe Dean brings. In NFC East, there's not a lot of teams that are going to throw the ball a little bit, as much as they do on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, no doubt. And the NFC North is a little bit more of a run division, and I think the Packers have kind of solidified themselves. You look at Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis, and how the Eagles are built, how the I guess they're not Redskins anymore. The Commanders, how they're built with Chase Young and some of the pass rushers they have, what Dallas has done, what the Giants have done with Kayvon Thibodeau. That's more of a passing division. Not a whole lot of star power at the quarterback position, ironically, but they do like to throw the ball a little bit more in that division. So you're geared towards that. Devontae Wyatt is a utility type defensive lineman. And then you have Quay Walker who plays the run really well. He can run sideline to sideline. He can make the necessary plays, but he's not quite as, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out just how freakishly athletic he is. Let's just put it that way.
We're going to find out real soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for sure.
But happy for him. Happy for Jake Camarda going 4th round. There was a run of punters in the 4th round going to Tampa Bay. That was fun. Justin Schaefer, John Fitzpatrick going to the Falcons. You had Jamari Sawyer going to the Chargers. Channing Tindall, the aforementioned Channing Tindall, going to the Dolphins. Zeus going to the Raiders. Do you think that's a good fit?
I think that's a very good fit. I think they're missing a ground and pound kind of guy. I think that their offense is built as the guy that can get 3 or 4.
And McDaniels
kind of take the ball.
Guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you had Blunt. Sony came for a little while.
Yeah, you had Blunt. You had James White.
Yep.
Brandon Bolden.
The bigger guys.
Yeah.
The bigger guys in his offense.
Yeah.
That get you 3-4 yards whenever you needed it. So they're going to throw the pill around. And, they're going to get those 3rd and 2s. They need a big guy that can, get 2 yards. So that's what he does. That's what McDaniel does.
And then they have Kenyon Drake in that James White role too. So that'll be fun for them. That'll be kind of a recreation with a lot more talented shed of running backs than what he had in New England. Who I'm most excited about. This is like kind of picking my favorite child here, but one of the situations I'm really, really excited about is James Cook in Buffalo. And I said it when we had Joe DeLeon. I was like, hey, to me, the best fit for James Cook would be Buffalo.
Yep.
I think Brandon Bean listened to our show because he picked James Cook. Great scenario. I love
He's
it.
going to love that offense. I think that his upside is great. You can put him at running back.
Tremendous.
He can run the rock. He can run the rock, and you can flex him out. You know, so I think
they don't
he
lose
lands
anything, and they need somebody like
spot.
that. Yeah,
They need a more
Devin
versatile
Singletary.
back.
Yeah, because Singletary's not that guy. Zach Moss sure as hell ain't that guy.
Yeah.
And
you can flip the ball out there to him on the screens and things that they do. He'll be great in check down situation and things like that. So he has great ball skills.
Yeah,
so I think that's exactly he fits. Their quarterback is
exactly.
I just had a brain fart. Who's their quarterback?
Josh Allen.
That's it, Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I love Josh Allen, man. I love that guy. He's I was heartbroken when they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
If they would have got the ball first, they'd have won.
If they would have just tackled somebody once, they would have lost. In that 13 seconds, if they'd have just pushed a guy out of bounds, they would have won. Because the Chiefs weren't scoring on 2 plays in that scenario. So that was a wild finish, man. 13 seconds, like 3 touchdowns. It's insane. But so yeah, that's kind of checking in on the Georgia players, things like that. As mandatory OTAs roll around, you'll kind of see how they mix in with the veterans, and you'll see kind of what's happening with them. The Steelers. The Steelers are taking a liking to George Pickens. Some of the stuff that I read on him, of course, Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, they're kind of like front and center, and Philly's like really excited to have them. So like that's all they're reporting on right now. So as these reports come in, you'll start to kind of see how these guys are doing, how they're mixing in. So, but let's talk about this drama, shall we?
There's a lot of drama today, and in Athens for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
but I do want to touch on the Athens one first, if we may.
Go for it. You got it.
I saw the Melissa Link comment today.
Yes.
I tweeted about it earlier. Not real happy about it.
No.
For me, I try to stay out of politics because a lot of times I don't think like a lot of people think. So I'm all about sports and family and all that good stuff, but that really pissed me off what she said.
Yeah.
You're pretty much lumping all of us into a category of a few. And that's not right.
No,
you saw what I tweeted. The vast majority of us have made it. We have families, we're husbands. We're doing great in our respective communities.
You called it productive
half of our
adulthood.
football team. Yeah. Half of our football team are coaches now, or they're trainers, working with kids, doing things in the community. So for her to say what she said is kind of a slap in the face. They try to say, a lot of fans are like, well, we love the Dawgs and we do this, but she kind of hit on the stigma of they only know you when you're on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it sounded like to me. You don't know us as people. You just know us when we're playing. Yeah. And then I didn't take too kind to that. And,
and
whatever her meaning was behind it,
doesn't matter.
It is what it is. But
whatever her meaning is irrelevant now because it got lost in whatever she said.
Yeah. And not only did she say it once and nobody paid attention, but she said it again.
She
so everybody
down.
could hear.
Yeah, she doubled down on
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
basically
she meant that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get, people that generalize stuff like that. I just like broad sweeping blanketing statements like that. I don't get it because it just shows your ignorance in saying, okay, all right, you wore the G on the field, and somebody that you probably you've never met committed a crime. Now you're lumped in with that that's not fair. Like, you didn't do it. You know, you're a productive adult. It's freaking 98%. And that's probably even low. That's probably even lowballing a little bit. I would say 99.67% of everyone that graduated from Georgia are probably productive adults and doing great things. And for her to throw mud on that because a few sour apples made that, ruin the batch. It didn't ruin the batch. She thinks it did. And she just wants to, she wants clicks. She wants attention. She's, it's all this like political, it's all or nothing type deal. Like, hey, you're a UJ football player, so you're a criminal, which is, or, you're on my side and, you're a great person. I just don't subscribe into that. Like, everybody's different.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
like, what I do is different from what you do. What you do is different from what the next guy does, or this guy, or this person, or this lady, or whoever. Anybody related to the University of Georgia, even. Like,
and
is
I
it
love
fair?
the way that,
Yeah.
Josh Brooks, who's been around all of us, since he's been there. He spoke about it today, and he hit the nail on the head. I mean, like you said, I think he said 96, 98% of us graduated, and we're all, like you just said, productive citizens in our respective communities. She talked about something about, well, this program is meant to develop and help them pass adulthood, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? You just shattered it by what you just said.
Yeah. And it's working, apparently. She doesn't understand that, like, people make choices on a daily basis. People make hundreds and thousands of choices on a daily basis. Whether that choice is to either eat gummy bears or Snickers, or if that choice is to go down this street or go down that street or hang out with this person or pull the trigger of this gun or, attack this woman or, influence this kid to get his grades up or, put this kid in the right scenario or, whatever it may be. There's thousands of choices that people make on a daily basis. And, for her to not realize that is just irresponsible. And it just shows some of her ignorance. And it just shows some of, like, her political tainting. I think that when you get so radical with a lot of your political views, I think you lose sight of reality. And reality is that most of these former players are vastly successful, and they're in careers where they're working with youth, and it's a great thing. So, if you're out there, if you're listening and you played football or were associated with the football program at the University of Georgia, do not listen to Melissa Link. She's just trying to get attention. She's getting the attention. She's getting what she wants, unfortunately. So go read my man Troupe's tweet, I should say, at TroupeStar28. Go read it. It's good. It's brief and it's effective. Josh Brooks having you guys' back. I love it, man. I love it. So that's my piece. That's what I'm going to stick with.
Yeah, you've worked with us before too. So when I read it, I was like, let me go back and make sure I'm not reading too into it. And then I read it again. I was like, I'm definitely not reading too much into it.
Yeah, this is.
And then I saw the video, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, this is definitely a shot across the bow. It's like, man,
this is what she meant.
Yeah,
but
like,
back on the funnier side of it, I don't think that Saban and Deion are going to be making any more Aflac commercials.
No, it's going to be awkward on the set from here on out. Saban dropped the bomb there, didn't he?
And he had a Dabo moment today.
He did
yesterday.
Yeah, he's like calling people out.
Yeah, and one thing I've learned about this business: do not let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Deion does commercials with you, so I'm pretty sure you two conversate. And Jimbo worked for you.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows the ins and outs of your business and how you do things. He was in the NFL with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't do that. And maybe it was just a moment, or whatever, but he was the main one that was like, hey, these guys need to be paid. NIL is great. We'll monitor it, which they do a really good job of. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I mean, Alabama's got boosters too. And hey, they pay top dollar for talent. And there's no secret. It is no secret that boosters do what they do. But at the same time, you have your boosters come up with some money. I mean, it's football. I mean, it's how you get these guys to come. It is what it is. We all know we're not done.
He's not wrong, but it's but he's bringing an unwanted shitstorm to his front doorstep.
Yeah, and this season's about to be fire, boy. Let me tell you,
it's about to get interesting. So, yeah, he riled up Jimbo. Jimbo's always good for a nice sound bite. But it just shows you that, a couple things didn't go Saban's way. So now he's going to go full scorched earth and, but I don't think A&M did anything wrong. I think they did everything legally.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact. I can't say, I'm not going to be up here like Skip Bayless, like, I know for a fact they did something wrong, or I know for a fact they're totally in the clear. I bet you if you turn over some rocks, you'll find some bad stuff. You'll find some good stuff. Same with Alabama, same with Georgia, same with Clemson, same with Texas, same with Ohio State. Like, you don't want to invite people to, you notice who's been quiet in this whole scenario, right?
Who's that?
This guy.
Absolutely. Kirby's like, hey, bro, we good over here.
Hey, bro, you ain't coming over here and kick any rocks over us. We're good.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, man,
we're on vacation right now. We're good. We got our recruiting in. I saw where Washington's son declared early.
Yeah.
To this class that's leaving, which is great. I remember him when he was little. Because I played with Marcus. I think he was like 3 or 4. He was running around the locker room because we were all on the same row.
Yeah.
To see him now, I mean, it's great. So everything's all well and good in Athens right now, within our football program. So, and
Kirby's going to keep it
today,
that way.
Absolutely. Today was great. It was great for TV. It was great for ratings. So
yeah.
I bet they called each other and was like, hey, dude, I'm going to say this, and I need y'all to, be upset about it, all right?
This has a WWE feel to it.
College football's rating are going to shoot up when the season starts.
Yeah. Now, the SEC schedule was released September 10th, big noon kickoff, Texas, Alabama. That's going Jordan Addison, I think they're saying he's signing with Texas. Transferring to Texas. So, how does that game feel now? Because it was like at one point, going to be. It was going to be a wash,
Yeah. What is Jordan Addison, the kid from Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No, he's going to USC.
Oh, is he? I just saw somewhere where he was.
Yeah,
so he's USC he's USC all around now.
Yeah, USC got him. So you got Caleb Williams, and they got another receiver from Oklahoma to transfer. Now they got Addison too. So Coach Marion, who's the wide receiver coach over there at Texas, I think they had good ties, and I think they were going to get him, but he ended up going to USC.
Oh, okay. Well, that game's still interesting, but not quite as interesting.
It's going to be real good with Sarkisian. Because I think Alabama was trying to get him. I think there was a whole big stink about that. So there was some tampering, as Coach Narduzzi would say, during that whole time.
Yeah.
From Alabama.
Yeah. Old tampering. So
I think this football season is about to be good, real good.
About to be, as Triple G says. And I didn't know I was ever going to drop a Triple G reference. You know what I'm talking about?
Who that?
The boxer Gennady Golovkin.
Oh no, I don't know him.
Yeah, he's from Kazakhstan. He's like a middleweight champion. He has like these classic interviews with Max Kellerman ringside. He's like, "It's a drama show, Max. It's drama show." So yeah, it's gonna be a drama show. It's gonna be awesome. You know what else is awesome? I just saw this tweet. This is totally unrelated of anything. Well, it's actually not unrelated because it's Bleav news. It's Bleav Network news, and this is only the tip of the sword here. So I imagine it's going to expand very, very soon. But the Bleav Network partnered with SiriusXM.
Ooh, big time!
Yeah, so Bleav Podcast has partnered with SiriusXM to host on the app. To host all 32 of the the network's NFL team specific podcasts, and I can only imagine they're gonna eventually put the college ones too.
Absolutely.
So we might be on SiriusXM, perhaps soon. Hopefully, maybe
sooner rather than later.
Maybe that'd be awesome. So
hey, we got the Apple game already. So I mean, might as well join Sirius and Spotify and all that good stuff too.
We got Spotify. We got Apple. We got Spotify.
We do got Spotify.
Yeah, we're over 100 episodes deep. I think you and I are close to 100. I think I did 20 before I met you, but I think you and I are
like the Jeffersons, baby.
That's right, like the Jeffersons. So, but yeah, I think you and I are closing in on 100 fairly quickly. So, season 2 is going to wrap up here in a few weeks. I always I judge my seasons. This is kind of weird, but I judge my seasons based on when my first episode aired, which was June 13th, 2020. So season 3 will start June 4th, our first show after June 13th of this year. So we'll start on season 3. It's hard to believe we've gone 2 seasons now. It's flown by.
Man, we're getting old.
We are getting old. We are. But big things in the future apparently with SiriusXM. So stay tuned. This deal's probably not done yet, but it's all but so that's exciting. Maybe the higher ups at SiriusXM will hear us and they'll offer us a regular show.
Got to love it.
Love
it, baby.
Be Coach Troupe and Coach Burton live on SiriusXM satellite radio.
There you go. Might as well.
We'll be on we'll get hired by Mad Dog Radio. That's what's going to happen. We're gonna come on right after the Pat McAfee show. Can you imagine that?
TV show and all after a while.
Yeah. Oh my God, that'd be crazy. Would you leave coaching for that? Obviously, probably yes, right?
Depending on what that check looked like.
Yeah, exactly. You give me a good check and a good health plan. My principal.
Hey, if we can get like J-Boy and get our own studio, I mean,
yeah,
sky's the limit after that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's do it. All right, come on, Bleav. Keep going. Put the college shows on there too. That was awesome. I was just scrolling the tweeters and saw that. That wasn't even a part of the plan, to be honest with you. That wasn't a part of our rundown.
But there it is.
There's some great memes on this Jimbo Saban situation. There's one. You remember that viral fight video where the dude is just sitting at the table on his phone with his headphones in, and there's a freaking melee going on right beside him, and he has no clue?
Absolutely.
They made a meme out of that. It said ESPN, Jimbo, Dion, Saban. They're all in the melee, and it's Kirby Smart's the one sitting at the table.
Absolutely. I saw the one where the dudes are fighting, and the guy's holding the phone, and it's like Jimbo and Saban fighting, and Kirby's holding the phone. I mean, they've been killing that today. There's been some great ones today. But I said, everybody's on Jimbo and Dion's side because, I mean, everybody does it.
Yeah.
Dabo tried to throw his little 2 cents in, and
of course.
I'm slowly but surely starting to lose respect for Dabo Swinney.
Well, that brings me to another point, actually, and we can go ahead and get into this one. The Bleav in Clemson football show, or Bleav in Clemson. I don't know if it's just Bleav in Clemson or Bleav in Clemson football. And I tweeted this, and I tagged you. They did a debate, which I thought was kind of odd programming, really odd topic to get a debate on. But it was basically Dabo versus Kirby Smart. Who's better? I haven't listened to it yet, but
if you look at the all around product, I think Kirby's clearly better, and that's not biased on just because we're Georgia fans either. I think if you look around the all around body of work that's been done, the things he's been able to implement. Clemson had everything that they had before Georgia even got the indoor, all that stuff. So I mean, they had a leg up. You know, they had played for a couple national championships before. I think he has 2.
He has 2.
No,
Kirby's
one, right.
He's got two. He's got 2. He's got one with Deshaun Watson. He's got one with Trevor Lawrence.
With Trevor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they smoked Alabama.
All those guys that went to Clemson. Yeah, I mean, Kirby's better in my opinion. Guy that I can play for.
Yeah,
I mean, Dabo also said that the NIL thing was stupid. But we all see how that ended. He was going to give up his paycheck. I hadn't seen him donate any money anywhere.
No.
So.
I
personally wouldn't want Tatum to go to Clemson at this point in life.
No, not if Dabo's there. And I think a lot of Alabama fans at one point were like, yeah, if we have a chance to hire Dabo Swinney as a replacement for Nick Saban, let's do it. And I think a lot of them have since changed their mind on that. But I think if you just look at the timetable of you look at Dabo's first 6 seasons, you look at Kirby's first 6 seasons. Kirby's had 2 national championship appearances, winning 1, losing 1. Obviously, he's had 1 conference title, 4 appearances, right? 4 appearances in that game. I think he has 2 Sugar Bowl wins. Just something like ridiculous for somebody who's never been a head coach before in their first 6 seasons. I think Dabo's 6th season, they went 6-7. And one of those seasons, he got completely
this past season
obliterated. Yeah, this past season too, and they got completely obliterated by West Virginia in one of the Orange Bowls that they made. I mean, so and Kirby took over a really bad Georgia situation. I think Coach Rick, God love him, but he was burnt out and obviously probably going through some health issues that we know about now, that we didn't know about then. It all makes sense now of why this team was declining pretty rapidly because Coach Rick was just losing his health. And Kirby took over a situation where the lineman room was just thin. They had to go get a transfer from Rhode Island just to make it in his first season. So it's not like he took over a powerhouse.
No.
Dabo certainly didn't either, but it took Dabo a really long time. Kirby did it fairly quicker. To me, that's probably the best metric. You look at the first 6 seasons, what he's been able to accomplish. And I think he's on a better trajectory. I think he's just a better all-around. I think he understands how to structure a program. That's not to say Dabo was bad, because I think Dabo's done a lot of great things. But I also think Dabo, I think he's a lot, personality-wise.
Yeah.
And I think he wears thin.
You also got to understand the conference that you play in. You play in the ACC. Kirby plays in the SEC. So you're going to play Alabama either way. And that's the peak of the peak to play Alabama.
Yeah.
So you don't have to see Alabama until the national championship game if you make it.
Right.
You're playing top tier talent every single game. Yeah. Now, here's the kicker. every single year, each SEC team has also gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Your Arkansas is the only team that hadn't gotten better is Vandy.
No.
Ole Miss has gotten better. Arkansas has gotten better. LSU had a bad year last year, but they were coming off a national championship.
Hey, don't talk about my family.
The SEC, you have a chance to get beat any day of the week.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Tennessee,
There's 13 teams that can smoke you at any given moment.
I think Florida's about to be really good with Billy Napier coming in. So the coaching pedigree over there in the SEC is way better than the ACC. In the ACC, you got to worry about Notre Dame in all actuality.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Pitt had a good year this year, but it's Pitt. So
Wake Forest had a good year. North Carolina has been decent. Florida State has been meh. But I don't know, man.
Dismal.
Yeah. It's just not the same. Am I going crazy, or we're in the randomness part of our schedule, if you haven't already been able to tell? Is it just me, or does Billy Napier giving off some Butch Jones vibes?
I don't know. I think that they love him at Florida right now.
Oh, I know. They love Butch Jones originally.
I think they yeah, but we all know Butch Jones. I mean, we just saw what he did at Arkansas State, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, but the cheesy, all the extra cheese that he has going on.
But you gotta understand something too, though. That's what Florida used to be until Mullen took over. When Urban Meyer was there, there was a lot of flash. Those guys were a little bit cheesy too. They were having fun. So I think he's kind of bringing that back.
Having fun and being, that's one thing. But I just feel like there's a little bit of like extra cheese. Like, dude, you're Florida. You don't need to go to like the Butch Jones length of like slogan after slogan and just try. Like, there's enough juice down there that you don't have to make up juice. You know what I mean?
Hey man,
does that make sense?
Oh yeah, most definitely. But we're in the social media area now. It's one of those things where you got to keep up with it, and you got to think he started that at Louisiana, and I mean they're really good. He's got one of the best recruiters over there in Katy. He's got a star-studded staff over there as well. So
that's why I think he doesn't need it. Like, he's got all the tools. Like, he doesn't need that.
My boy said Florida was down. He knew it too.
They just build relationships and do the normal like social media stuff that they all know how to do. And you don't need the fluff. They try to throw in this fluff that they think they need, like that they probably needed at Louisiana because it's Louisiana. That you don't need at a place like Florida.
They've been boring. Think about it. Since Mullen took over, they were boring.
They were very boring.
They were boring. So he said,
I agree.
Hey, my boy said,
so it doesn't take much.
We got to do something.
It doesn't take much. Throw some highlight videos in there. Throw some cool graphics, some highlight videos. The photo shoots are fun. I like the photo shoots. I like the social media stuff that they're doing. I like the YouTube stuff that they're doing. This is just killing me to say all this, but I do have to admit they are doing a lot of cool stuff. But I just think that there's some Butch Jones vibes a little bit with some of the stuff that they do. And yeah, I don't think they need it.
I can see it.
I don't think they need it. But they will be good. He is good.
He walked into a really hostile situation too. So he was like, all right, how can I – he's trying to get everything away from what they did, and which I get. So he was all right.
Just be yourself. I feel like he's trying too hard. Just be yourself. That's all he's got to do. Simple.
That's him, though.
That's not him.
That's him. He loves it. He's
extra. He's being extra. That's not him. There's no way that's him. More power to him, I guess. If they're successful, maybe I'm just a hater. They went beyond swag. Maybe I'm just a hater. That could be it.
Hey man, think about who he got to come to Alabama. The Amari Coopers of the world. He was there. He recruited all of them.
Yeah, sure. Gotta have a little swag
before he left.
Gotta have a little swag. But
absolutely, you can't just walk in there and be like, "Hey guys, how are you?"
Well, no. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. No, not at all.
He was like, let's put a little pep in this Gator step a little bit.
Yeah. No, they're doing some cool stuff. I like that they're sponsored by Jordan. I think that's a good idea. The jump man.
Most definitely.
But
that was the best thing they could have did.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Butch Jones, thankfully. He's not Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen was boring and then tried to turn on the cheese. It just didn't work.
Mm-mm.
They should have hired Todd Grantham as their head coach. They missed the boat on that one. Then maybe we'd still have Katie.
Oh yeah, we definitely have her then. But she's balling over at Florida now.
She is.
She's doing a really good job.
She is. Unfortunately, I wish it didn't have to be anywhere but Florida. Come on.
Yeah. Anywhere
but Florida.
But like we said earlier, when you stroke that check, hey, money talks.
That's true.
Ain't that what Nick Saban said?
Mm-hmm. Money talks. I see. Hey, full circle. Full circle. I see. So, you want to check in on baseball?
Are they playing better? Because
I don't know.
Who they got this week? They got a big series this week. Apparently,
they do. Missouri at home.
Mm-hmm.
They play tonight. Actually, tonight, Friday, and Saturday. They're off Sunday. So you got Nolan Crisp on the mound right now. He's 1-4. Then you got Cannon going on Friday, who's 9-2, and then Saturday is Liam Sullivan, who's 3-3 with a 5.2 ERA.
I just hope we play complete baseball. Get back to what we were doing at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think we kind of lost. We got a little cocky. We were ranked.
Got a few injuries too. I think just kind of messed up the flow of our bullpen, and some guys just didn't. I don't want to sound like Alabama fans here when I say that we had some injuries to our bullpen, and that's why we're losing. But some guys didn't step up. That's the truth. Some guys didn't step up, and that's what happens.
Yeah. So baseball is one of those sports where you got to stay consistent, and I think we kind of lost our way a little bit. Got a little bit ahead of ourselves.
We did.
But I think we'll bounce back. I think we'll have a good showing. I don't know what Missouri has baseball wise, but if we come out and play Georgia baseball, I think we'll be fine. I think Coach Strick's the guy, but I think he has to get his team back on board to what got him there, and I think we'll be fine after that. Get it healthy a little bit, like you said, and then we'll be fine.
But
it's a long road to Omaha.
But after all of that, they're still in the mix for having an automatic bye in the SEC tournament. Like that, I mean, they're going to need some help. But from what I read, they're still Tennessee, obviously, A&M, Arkansas, and Auburn are all currently in the top 4 spots. So I think there needs, if we can get a few losses in our favor to those teams, we might be able to get a first round bye in the postseason. So still have a lot ahead of us, still having a very successful season. But just feels somewhat, Georgia's 34-18, 14-13 in the conference. It's a very competitive conference. And so I think if we can get a sweep and we can get a little bit of help with probably Auburn is probably our best chance. Auburn's the number 4. We're sitting there with LSU. If we can get a couple losses out of them, a couple losses out of the Vandy boys, we're sitting right there tied with those teams right there. If we can get hot now, we might be able to take that into the tournament and get into the NCAAs and host a regional. So just need to get some guys healthy. Just need to start putting the ball in play, putting the ball in gaps, and just starting putting runs across the plate and putting them up in bunches, not just a run here, run there, and relying on our pitching. We need to hit a couple out of the yard. We need to score some in bunt. We need to have some big innings, and we need to get teams into their bullpens quickly.
Yeah, maybe most teams, and that's what I like about Tennessee. They don't put stress on the other team. Tennessee does a great job putting stress on the other team, whether it's base running, whether it's they're hitting. The art of hitting and running and bunting has lost, a lot of teams. I think they've gotten cocky and just trying to just let their guys swing.
They force you to make plays.
Yeah, they force you to field the ball. They force you to make throws, and you stress the defense. The worst thing for a pitcher is having to rely on his defense 100% of the time. If he can just go out there and strike people out, he's fine. But once that ball's in play, in the back of their mind, they're like, please make this throw. It's ground balls, fly balls, anything like that. So we just got to put the ball in play and run the base as well.
Because those things will see their way through. Those throws, if you're bearing down the first base line, it's going to force it. Balls hit to short. You're gonna force that guy to make a clean pick and throw, and in college baseball even that doesn't always happen. You get surefire double plays that if you got a fast guy on first and he's putting some pressure on the first leg of that double play, you might be able to salvage an inning. And in the Kentucky series way back in March, it proved to be, Georgia was in the game, and then all of a sudden they have an error on a double play. Next inning, Kentucky gets up, hits a grand slam, and blows the game wide open. And it was a rubber match, too, in the series, and would have probably changed a little bit of the trajectory. But a few errors here, a few errors there. Next thing you know, it's a completely different ballgame, and here we are. So you just got to limit the errors, got to put the ball in play. Got to preserve your bullpen as best you can. Try to get solid innings, quality starts out of your pitchers, and that's the name of the game. And I know I'm kind of John Maddening this. So, but I mean that's baseball in a nutshell.
It's the little baseball. Things.
Yeah.
Baseball, you can lose on any given day. It's not like football where it's pretty much a given on who's going to win.
You can lose on any given day to any given opponent. Doesn't matter if it's Lipscomb or Oregon State or LSU or Tennessee. Now, the thing, if I'm a Tennessee fan, which I'm not, but if I'm a Tennessee fan, I kind of worry that, they get a little, they drain a lot of energy emotionally. Between their manager and their team doing all the antics that they do, I think it's going to end up just like their basketball team. I think it's going to end up draining them, and it's going to put them in some situations where, they run out of gas in a super regional game where they're clearly one of the top. They're clearly a legitimate College World Series contender, but they may screw themselves because they just might run out of gas.
Baseball, you can't be emotional playing baseball. It's not an emotional-driven sport. It's strategic. It calls for you to be calm. So you just gotta chill. But I love the energy that they have.
I do
like
too.
You said, I think it's gonna end up biting them if they get too emotional. One of these games. I think it's gonna come and bite them. I don't wish bad on anybody, but when they play us, I hope it's one of our games.
Yeah, I hope it's against us. I hope we're not paired with them in a regional, but I think they could get paired with somebody like Florida State or Duke or Cal State Fullerton. A solid number 2 seed that will challenge them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be good. I think this baseball season is going to be good. College baseball is fun, especially around this time with super regionals and the SEC and all these tournaments are in their championships and things like that.
I think this is the last series of the season, right?
I believe so, because softball's about to start. There are regionals here soon.
Yeah, because I think they're not playing.
Starts.
And I think they're not playing Sunday because they have to do the conference bracket.
Mm-hmm. Got to go to Hoover.
We played a football game when I was at Blackman High School. We played Hoover at the Hoover Met. That was our 10th game. Then? Josh Niblett. Yeah, Niblett.
He's at Gainesville now.
Yeah, he's at Gainesville. Yeah, Niblett was the coach. They needed a game, and they called us, so we played. Very, very gracious. Great facility. I mean, it was first class. their whole program was first class and treated us with great respect. It was a very competitive game. Guys were talking back and forth, but it never got to a disrespectful, almost brawl level. But it was competitive and it was a lot of fun.
I always find it really cool how they turned that into a football field.
It is
like during the season. At where I'm going to, our football stadium used to be a baseball field. I forget what my
Granite
team
Bowl?
played there.
Y'all call it the Granite Bowl?
No, it's the Swamp. They call it the Swamp now.
Gotcha.
I forget what it was. A minor league team that used to play there, but our football field used to be a baseball field. So it's really cool how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Georgia can rattle off a couple, make a good showing in the SEC tournament, at least get third. I think they'll be fine. Get hot up right at the right time.
I think if they win a few games, they'll host a regional. They're going to come in, I think, as a 5 seed. Depending on what LSU and Vandy do this weekend.
Yeah, put the ball in play.
Put the ball in play, get a sweep, and see where it goes. So, you been watching any NBA? Now that we're truly into randomness, do you watch any?
I can't watch the NBA.
It's just hard, man.
It's not hard, but I do love the controversies of the NBA, like Pat Beverly and Chris Paul. I do love that.
You love a good soap opera, right?
Lil Wayne hating the Mavericks.
Yeah. Yes.
I think he meant it as a joke, but I think everybody took it serious.
Of course they did.
But the entertainment factor of the NBA is fun, but actually watching it, I can't do it. It takes forever. They score like a billion points.
So slow.
Nobody plays defense anymore.
It's the slowest fast game in sports.
Mm-hmm.
You score a billion points, but you're trying to figure out, it's like, how did they have time to score this many points? You know what I mean?
Yeah. 123 points. Like, what?
Yep.
I miss the days of the 86 to 80 games, like games like that.
Where it's like physical and guys are hitting the deck and, like Xavier McDaniel and Charles Oakley are just destroying people as they come down the lane. Yeah. Or like Reggie Miller and John Starks are getting into it,
Yeah. I saw, I forget what player it was saying that he could guard Shaq in his prime. I was like, absolutely not.
Not a chance.
Shaq was a different human being, during his prime.
Monster.
And then when he got a little bit older, he slowed down a little bit. But when he got Kobe and they were both on the Lakers, oh my God. Yeah. Nobody was stopping Shaq. Nobody.
Nobody could stop Orlando Magic Shaq either.
Shaq could have kept playing. Shaq was like, no, I'm good. But he literally just walked away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
But
more power to him.
It wasn't an injury. It wasn't anything like that. He just said, you know what? I'm good.
I'm good. I've had my fill.
So when you got a player like that, absolutely not.
No. Like, you're just not guarding him. Like, he's 7'1", 350 pounds, and he moves like he's 6'1", 150 pounds.
Yep.
And he breaks goals. He shatters backboards.
He pushes people out of the way. Excuse me. Sorry.
Sorry, you're in my way. You're in my way. I'm Shaq. I gotta work on my Shaq, but
you're
not quite there. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm close. My Jerry Jones is pretty good, but my Shaq's not great.
Jerry Jones is really good. It was impressive.
I try. So yeah. Will, anything else you want to add? Anything else that jumped out onto your plate that you want to talk about?
No, but I just think that it's not random, but it's kind of the whole transfer portal and guys transferring, and we deal with it too at the high school level. People going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you touched on it. Just when we're talking, coach your kids. I mean, kids are going to go, kids are going to come. I mean, It's just one of those things. I mean, it's the way of sports today. So you can either complain about it, or you can go out and do your job. And I'm on the side of doing my job. I'm a coach who's there, and I'm going to do what I need to do to win football games.
Right.
Or basketball games, or tic-tac-toe, whatever you're coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Just be good at what you do.
Tic-tac-toe, yeah.
And if you're a really good coach, you don't lose guys.
No, you don't. You don't.
You get more than you lose.
Yeah, people give you a chance. If you're fake and you make all these promises, people are going to see right through that and be like, well, I was just coming here to hopefully go to the NBA or NBA. I was coming here just to hopefully go to the NFL, and well, you lied to me, and I'm done. See ya.
Yeah, be truthful, tell the truth, treat people right.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's a good thing we're not Mississippi State fans, because they are, and I think this is a score from tonight. They are down 27-2.
Is that the Tennessee game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 14-0, like in the fourth inning when I saw it.
I don't know how it ended, but it's top of the ninth. This screenshot is top of the ninth, 2 outs, 27-2.
There's been a lot of baseball games that sound like football scores as of late.
Exactly. And then there's some football games that sound like baseball games.
Yeah, somebody's getting roasted on the mound. That's unfortunate.
Yep, somebody's ERA just went up. So, but anyway, we're going to get out of here. So, we're going to send you off into the weekend. We're going to implore that you keep listening, subscribe, find us. Hopefully, you'll find us on SiriusXM here in the near future. That'll be fun if that ever happens. So, Josh Fisher, get it done. So, for Israel Troupe, I'm Corey Burton. We hope you found us. We hope you stay with us at Bleav in Dawgs, at TroupeStar28, at Coach Burton 36. Find us, give us some feedback, join in on the fun. We are the Bleav in Georgia Dawgs podcast on the Bleav Network and Brinks TV, presented by Betonline.ag. We hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you back here next week for more fun. Goodbye. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
This is Bleav in Georgia Dawgs Podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network.